the power of purpose. And the bees, the purpose of the bees is to protect the viability of the bee colony. So they have a very clear purpose. Their job is to make the colony thrive. And they will sacrifice themselves in the process of doing that. The NHS, the only purpose of the NHS that I've ever seen, you may like to ask yourself, what's the purpose of the education system in this country? Mm. But the only purpose of the NHS that I've ever seen is to provide health care free at the point of delivery, which of course isn't actually an outcome at all. It's nothing to do with the health of the nation or of individuals, or it is all that is designed to. That purpose is going inevitably to be in the interests of the providers, because it's the people who provide. That's what it's about, providing healthcare, not what it does or what the outcome of that is. So that lack of an appropriate purpose, which isn't very clear anyway, it's a political slogan, is at the bottom, really, of a lot of the problems. And the bees have a clear purpose, and if you've got a really clear purpose, and you've got what complexity people call simple rules, that's the rules by which one bee communicates with the next bee, and those rules are based on a set of values that everyone agrees to. The bees don't have the option of disagreeing with their instincts. We do. So we have to agree on our values. And if all our little interactions with one another, like we're having now, are based on a set of values around which we can all gather and cohere and work together, then we can build anything you like almost. We can blossom as human beings, and our organisations and our society can blossom. Because that's how nature works. All of nature works like that. So we need a clear purpose. They need a clear purpose. What is their purpose, really? So we talked a bit about what their purpose could be that would actually enable competing factions to come together and agree on the simple rules, so-called, the rules by which interactions happened, that were all orientated towards a really clear purpose, which could be, for instance, to promote and protect the health of the population. That would be really good. No one ever says that, but that's what it could be. You could, for education, you could say to, I don't know, it'd be interesting to come up with what purpose of education could really unite fighting factions. So the psychologists could not, the psychologists who the big, but the fly in the ointment, they're the competitors which seem to be winning out all the time for various reasons, not least because they've embraced science, which is both their strength and their downfall as well. So the psychologists couldn't possibly disagree with that as a unifying purpose. So around a unifying purpose, people can come together and work together towards something better that they all agree with, whilst they compete about how they do it. So you have competition within an overall common purpose. So that was the message I was trying to get across.
Its purpose is an expression of the intrinsic values.
The purpose enables agreement over the intrinsic values, and they tend to be intrinsic values more than extrinsic values, yes. I think without a common purpose, you can have a whole fragmented variety of little purposes. So in the NHS, which is what I know best, the the drug companies want to make profits for their shareholders. The politicians want to win votes of the population and make it look as if they've redone things. The doctors and the nurses, for the most part, want to practice their professions to the highest standards that they can, but it's to do with allegiance to the profession, not the patient. So it all fragments, and so the values tend to be orientated towards that mini-purpose. So you get an organisation which just is pulling in different directions all the time.